So we're going to look at right triangles, specifically right triangles that you then split into 3 right triangles. And you have 2 special relationships. Now, when you split a right triangle into 3 right triangles, it actually works out that all 3 of those triangles are similar to each other. It's kind of interesting. But from that relationship, you can actually get that h squared equals x times y. Also, you get a squared equals x times c, where c is the entire length of that hypotenuse there. And the third relationship is b squared, the other leg, equals y times c. So what you're looking at is, if you're trying to find h, you just multiply the 2 parts together. If you're trying to find a, you use the entire length with the side that's in a smaller triangle with it. And if you're trying to find b, you use the entire hypotenuse there with y because it's closest to it. So these 2 formulas down here are pretty much the same. Just if you're picking side A, you use x. If you're trying to find side B, you use y. So you always use the closer piece of the hypotenuse. So these are pretty easy if you can remember those relationships, those formulas. So we're going to find x, y, and z. So to find x, that's the one in the middle. X squared equals the 2 pieces multiplied together. So x squared equals 20, square root, you get x equals the square root of 20. It's about 4 point, rounded up to 5. If you're trying to find z, you use the entire length and just the length that's closest to z. If you're trying to find y, you use the entire length and the side that's closest to y. So let's do y next. The entire length is 12, and then the side that's closest is 10. So you get y equals square root of 120, which is 10.95. Let's keep it there, 10.95. And if we're going to solve for z, you do the entire length again, 12. This time times the shorter side that's closer to it, 2. So that's 24. So the square root of 24, almost 5, 4.89. We'll just round it to 4.9. When it's the length in the middle, it's the square root of the 2 pieces multiplied together. If it's one of the sides, you do the square root of the entire length times the side that's closest to it. So we did 12 times 10 to get y, and we did 12 times 2 to get z. So same setup for this problem. For x, that's going through the middle. You multiply the 2 segments together, 5 times 7. So x squared equals 35. So x is the square root of 35. Pretty close to 6. 5.9. When you're doing y and z, you need to know the entire length. So 5 plus 7 is 12 for that entire length down there. So when you're doing y, you take the closer side, 5, and the entire length, 12. So square root of 60, which is about, we'll say 7.7. And then for z, you do the same idea, except this time we're taking the side closer to z, so we're taking the 7 times 12, which is 84. And then square root it, you get the square root of 84, which is about 9.2.